Welcome back to another episode of Best in Show. My name is Kasabi from Showzone, and today we're discussing the top meta and true overall scores from Set 4. Similar to other Best in Show episodes this year, we'll be only going over the cards that came out in this direct set, so while sets and seasons allow for you to use across 2 different seasons, this video will just focus on the cards that came out directly in Set 4, so only the ones you can get from Team Affinity, Ranked, and so forth. First, we'll be talking over the meta overall squad, which again, meta is what we believe the current ranked or competitive meta is in the game, and a lot of that's based on speed, power, and fielding. It less so focuses on contact, clutch, and some other key attributes like durability, discipline. So a lot of the players that are out there and playing competitive and ranked, they want to hit the ball far. They want to have the best speed and fielders out there to track down the ball in the case that it does get hit far. So here is what our website has calculated as the top meta overall team. So starting at catcher, we have Jimmy Fox, who is one of the top rated players on the entire roster. You can play catcher, first base, or third base. We believe that he's the best fit at catcher since there tends to be a little bit of a lack of power at that position. At first base is the program reward of a race of 98, Mark McGwire, who has a slightly fixed swing from the core reward that came out early in the year. But me personally, I don't really like Mark McGwire's swing. If you guys do well with him, let me know in the comment section. He does have the best power fielding speed combination in Set 4. Coming in at second base is the Fernando Tatis Jr. monthly award or lightning card, which has a lot of secondaries. You can put him in the outfield, shortstop, or second base. Just second basemen in general tend to be really hard to find some power hitters, so that's why our system kind of plugs him in at the second base position. In addition to that, David Wright is at third base with his home run derby card with max power across the board. The Snapshot Mookie Betts, one of the best overall cards in the game. You can put him at shortstop, you can put him at second base, you can put him in the outfield. But that shortstop secondary position is very important, and he gets the nod over Fernando Tatis at shortstop just due to his arm accuracy. Tatis can throw the ball hard from the hole, but won't have the best accuracy in his throws to first base. Moving on to the outfield at the corner positions, there's the monthly awards Juan Soto and the 2023 postseason Adolis Garcia. Both of them are just going to mash the ball. It comes at the sacrifice of a little bit of speed in both of those cases, but nothing that you won't be able to track down a ton of balls with. They don't have that closing speed on balls in the gap, but luckily for that, you do have Mike Trout available in center field if you've been able to get him as a chase pack reward. Mike Trout's 114.74 is the highest meta score in Set 4, so he is very valuable and very worth getting. I know there's a Mike Trout that just came out in Set 5. This one is decently better if you can get your hands on him, like I mentioned. And if you're still grinding Team Affinity and some other programs, he will help you out with some of those stat missions. Moving on to the bench or the DH position, there's a lot of infielders, including Churio, Glaus, and Arenado. At first base, the Ryan Howard Snapshot series has some decent pop. And the monthly awards Julio Rodriguez is a great speed and fielding combination. If you feel like you need a little bit more speed in the outfield, you can definitely plug him in for Juan Soto or Adolis Garcia. If not, he's a great speed option off the bench, so if you're in a tight situation in a ranked game or something similar, you can just use him off the bench for his speed. A few of the first cards out are some other infielders, so Miguel Cabrera's signature card is a first baseman card by design, but you can definitely put him in at third base or left field. His speed just leaves a little bit to be desired in any of those positions. Some third basemen, including Mike Schmidt and Austin Riley. Johnny Bench will be your second best catcher option in Set 4 behind Jimmy Fox. If you're looking for an outfielder that maybe has some better speed and fielding, the Roberto Clemente from the program also hits very well contact-wise. The system leaves him off as one of the first out cards just due to his lack of power. We move on to the pitching rotation, which has some decent options for the 1, 2, and 3 slots. From there, it drops off a teeny bit. So by completing Team Affinity, the Nolan Ryan card is a 110.23 best starting pitcher in the game. Following him is the Retro Finest Randy Johnson Chase Pack reward, which is a little bit worse than his collection reward from Set 2, but is still the second best pitcher in this set. Other cards include some more that you can get from the shop or programs, so that includes Kerry Wood's Race of 98s, Walter Johnson's Snapshot card, and the awards Madison Bumgarner from the Pennant Chase packs. Some other great starting pitcher cards that you can plug in are the set collection reward Corey Kluber, All-Star Game Johnny Cueto, and then a few more of those signature cards, including Adam Wainwright from the signature career tribute program. Moving on to the bullpen, a lot of hard throwers in set 4, including Kenley Jansen, Eric Gagne. Also have some killer off-speed pitches, but a lot of good sinking and cutting action across the board. As you go further down the list, prime Adam Ottavino, his sinker slider cutter combo is just insane. And then a few other hard throwers in Ryan Helsley and Troy Percival. The first 8 bullpen cards are very strong. From there, it kind of goes down to captain's cards, monthly awards pitchers. So that includes Goose Gossage, one of his captain cards from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's a 95 on the card, but his meta plays higher up to a 100. As we move on to the true overall squad, there's a few familiar faces, but again, a lot of different changes just because of the stark contrast between true and meta overall scores. True overall really rewards speed and fielding, kind of similar to meta overall scores, but it also looks at arm accuracy and strength. And in addition to that, it really rewards contact more than power. So a few of the cards that are a good mix of both contact and power that remain in the lineup include Fernando Tatis, Mookie Betts, Juan Soto, really the entire outfield, including Trout and Adolis Garcia. Surprisingly, Ernie Banks is the best first base option. He's a 103.75 true overall score at his shortstop position, but you put him at first base and there's just nobody who can field like him at first base. He moves all the way up to a 108.98, so more than a 5-point difference from moving him from shortstop to first base. And because of his fielding and speed that not a lot of catchers have, the JCL Realmuto 2023 postseason card will be your best option at the catcher position. Some other speedy guys on the bench include Julio, again, Ricky Henderson, some great fielding and contact in that Brandon Crawford snapshot card as a part of that Team Affinity collection. And of course, Miguel Cabrera and Jimmy Fox are on there just due to their great contact and power combinations. Some of the first cards out include Carlos Santana's catcher and first base card, Mark McGwire's in there again, and the Signature Series Christian Yelich. Now, interestingly, if you go to the pitching rotation, there's only one starter that's still in there, and that's the Randy Johnson Chase reward. But this really rewards people with high hit per 9 in pitching clutch. So that includes Corey Kluber, Clayton Kershaw, Johnny Cueto, and Yu Darvish. Some of those other hard throwers that have some lower walks per 9 numbers, like Nolan Ryan and Walter Johnson, really get deducted some points for that. So they're on the first out list, just barely. Nolan Ryan being the 6th best starting pitcher in the true overall metric. If you can control Nolan Ryan, by all means, plug him into the rotation. The game just views his walks and walk totals as a detriment to his skills. The bullpen's also very different. So aside from Kenley Jansen and Zach Britton, there's a lot of 2023 postseason cards that have made the list, including Hoffman and Presley. Some other good control and hit guys like David Robertson and Franco. As you can see, the first out cards a little bit more on the wild side in terms of control, not by much, but Tyler Matzek and Brian Abreu just barely missed the cut, less than a few tenths of a point out from the 8th spot in the bullpen. So there are the meta and true overall squads. I think one thing that this set had a lot of differences on compared to other sets is a maybe lack of first baseman options. I know Mark McGwire has max power, and I hit a lot of like singles and doubles with him, but usually there's a lot of cards in the meta and true overall metrics that have a ton of first basemen on the outside looking in, where they're definitely there with their hitting capabilities to make the team, but I almost have to, like, when making these videos, cut some of them out because nobody wants a bench full of first basemen. But really this set and season, there's not many first baseman options that would make some of these teams, and that's why you see people like Ernie Banks even sneaking in there, even though they're not a primary first baseman. Beyond that, though, you had a few cards from the original Team Affinity or when Set 4 came out, some cards in that content drop that you kind of have to grind for all season. But a lot of the other half of those cards that made the lineup are from the Pennant Race or the Career Tribute programs. So that was a really good benefit late in the year or late in the set and season, where you can just kind of get some of those 99 cards almost for free. You just open up so many packs by doing some of those programs or showdowns where it's to the point where like nobody really needs them on the secondary market. You can get them for maybe 10,000 stubs if you don't want to do all that grinding and open up so many of those packs. So some of these cards can be some good value picks. And also going into the 2023 postseason cards, it does take a bit of grinding to get those, but similar to Topps Now or some of the monthly award programs, all you have to do is just play some games, do some stat missions. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill or time like ranked or battle royale might So some good value options all the way around. Cards you can get from a bit of offline grinding more than anything. So for those of you who are still offline grinding, some of these cards are very easy to attain and maybe get some of your team affinity done, or you can just kind of use for the rest of the season. So if you're still playing MLB The Show 23, catching up, maybe you left and came back, all of these cards that you're grinding for as a part of these meta and true overall squads, you can use for the rest of the year. Once set 6 comes out, because these cards are still available in set 5, but once set 6 comes out, all of the cards that you previously got in MLB The Show 23 come back into the fold, and you can use anything from March until December. Definitely worth the effort if you can get some of these cards as a part of Team Affinity, postseason program, and so on. But that's going to do it for Best in Show for today. If you guys have any thoughts on set 4, including the Snapshot series, Team Affinity, and some of the other programs, let us know in the comment section. This is Kasabi signing off for now, and best of luck in set 5.